pulled up. Oh, it's just come up as it's live now. 1, 2, 2. Check. Testing. We're going to do the second half of the thread. Problems with music NFTs. Testing 1, 2, 2, 2, 2.
I've got
I can deafen this or no?
I don't know. I've got my VPN on, so I've got it on with 2 connections streaming. So it should hopefully mean that it won't drop out or do anything weird. What are you hearing anything there? Ads? My sound and ads again. It's just burnt into my brain now.
That's right. Everyone stop talking. You sound good.
Yeah, but is it coming through all right?
Yeah.
By definition, yes.
Yeah. All right, are we ready then?
We are ready.
I think we are.
All right, let's go. Welcome back, everyone, to the NFT project. Today, we've got the whole squad here. I've got Brock, Aaron, and myself, Boy King Koi, Project DJ, and myself, Boy King Koi, as I said. And today, we're following up and doing the second half of Problems with Music NFTs, the thread that was done by Cooper Trooper or Cooper Turley. Check the show notes for his Twitter handle. A little bit difficult to spell. Now, we actually recorded this one already, but we had some audio issues, so we're doing it again. We're back again. How are we, guys? Ready to redo this episode, and hopefully it's as much of a banger as the last one, eh?
Yeah, that's the issue. Is we recorded something amazing last week, and now we've got to bring it back and do it again.
I dropped golden nuggets, and if you were there to catch the live stream, you would have heard them, but they're forever lost in the abyss now. Let's hope I can remember them.
We'll probably forget all of the points we made and make totally different points that are probably... Maybe they're better because we've had another week to be within the space and think about things and learn some more stuff. So basically, the thread by Cooper was 20 music NFT problems at the moment. The first part, we did the first 10. So if you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch that one when we discussed the first 10. Today we're going to get stuck into the second 10 of those and discuss these music NFT problems at the moment. We'll say if we agree or disagree with them and, give our thoughts. So I guess we just get things kicking off, boys. So the first one we have today on the thread is distribution. So music NFTs are not reaching millions of listeners. They're reaching a very select niche audience that are interacting in a new way. Many Web3 events have very few people attending a set of a headlining artist, and from the outside, it looks like a joke. What do we reckon?
Yes, agree, obviously. I think that, in these like Web3 events have very few people attending. Brock and I went to the Splendor XR event, which was like Splendor in the Grass is a music festival, if you don't know, here in Australia, and they hosted like a VR/XR music festival where there was like pre-recorded sets played in like a video game type setting where you had your avatar and you could run around, and if you had a VR headset you could attend it through VR, but there just isn't the infrastructure at the moment to like have thousands of people running around as avatars in the one area watching a set. So I think definitely people are seeing these Web3 events where there's like 10 to 15 people in a room watching a Steve Aoki DJ set going, this is lame, which like, yeah, I can understand how that does look lame, but it's just because, technology hasn't advanced that far yet where we can have thousands of people in the one room without everyone's PCs crashing.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's just at the stage where technology is still a fair way from catching up with where we want it. Everyone's looking at that, wanting to feel like they're in the metaverse, staring out at that crowd of 5,000 people, and it's just not there yet. So you are in a room of 10 to 20 people constantly, whether that's actually what's happening or not. There could still be 1,000 people there. There still could be 5,000 people there, but they're separated through different servers to reduce lag, because the data is tremendous. So the technology will catch up. It hasn't yet, and it won't for a while. So we still will be in that space where the interaction is minimal.
Yeah, and I think, also the user base isn't there for VR. Like, VR is becoming more popular and more people are using it for gaming and things like that. But it's still not, it's not like everyone has a VR set in their house. So, you also have that factor with, people not actually taking up VR fully yet.
I definitely feel like we, from our Splendor XR experience, I feel like they could have easily had 500, 1,000, a couple of thousand minimum at different times when we were there, just because of you had to go through a certain location inside the server, like you had to sort of enter it from outside. And I can't remember what that was called. Where we were.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
but just being out there would always be different people. There'd always be different interactions you'd be going through. So again for the larger events, the crowd is there, but not for the smaller events for sure.
Yeah. I actually attended one in the Dirty Bird Flight Club, which is the Dirty Bird Records NFT project. I saw Claude Von Stroke play, but their little Birdverse, as they call it, is quite primitive. It's sort of like third person. You're your little avatar of your NFT on the screen, and it's like that old game Club Penguin. The game, with the DJs on stage and that, and you go around the club and stuff with the penguins. So it was similar to that, like walking around, but as the little birds. So it's again quite primitive. So people sort of look at it and think, oh, this is a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a gimmick. It's not really that much of an experience. But you had to have that NFT to access it, and that's the only way you could get in. And then you're obviously listening to a live DJ set by Claude Von Stroke.
Yeah, that's the interesting. Like I was listening to a recent podcast, Impulsive, with Steve Aoki, and that was a point that he made. He said and it was really interesting to hear someone of that stature say that. He just doesn't give a shit how many people are there because they're there for the right reasons. They're the people he wants to be playing to, whether it's 2, 5, 500. They're his fans, and they're bold enough to spend a certain amount of money to be involved. Like already his Aokiverse, for those of you who haven't go check it out, has only been around for a couple of months, and there's already people at the top level of his NFT structure, which is insane to think about because of the amount of work and stuff that people had to do it. But
it's like close to, if not $1 million plus.
Yeah, and that's the people that want to be involved, and that you can earn that. You don't have to actually spend that money. That's the greatest thing he's created inside his thing. But it was interesting to see, as I said, to have someone of that stature go and break it down and go, well, look, I don't actually give a shit. It's designed to be gated. It's designed to be just for my fans. I don't care how many people are there, as long as the right people are there.
And then you find out who the super fans are because you've got access to all this data. You can see every time this person comes in and interacts in whatever way it is, whether it's in a live show or whether it's within the Discord or however it is. You're getting to collect all this data. So I think that's a big thing that's going to be, important in Web3 is that you're going to be able to collect all this data on your actual fans as opposed to just collecting data on everyone. You actually know who the real fans are. So, exciting stuff as we move forwards, I guess. Let's keep going. Inclusivity. Music NFTs are not uniformly accessible to all communities. The current market favors previously successful artists and is overwhelmingly driven by white males. There is an underrepresentation of new creators, BIPOC, and female artists. What do you think about that?
I think Aaron put it pretty well last time around. We did this episode where it's just, of course, like that's the simplest answer. Like people with fan bases are going to win already because they have fan bases, especially
people are willing, especially in the current state of the market where it's like, you're spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars basically for a music NFT. You're wanting to back a previously successful artist. You're not necessarily wanting to put that kind of money into someone that you've kind of just found or you don't really know. So
your average punter anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing that we brought up last time is that we're talking about it's driven by white males, but something I brought up as a point is I think that you'll find that in most cases technology is generally taken up by white males, because that tends to be your stereotypical nerdy white male, is someone who is into gaming, is into technology and those kinds of things. So I think that's just a representation of the people kinds of people who get into technology as a whole as early adopters. I would tend to see. I think the other thing is that we spoke about last time that we talk about female artists in the space, and other people of different genders and things like that, that they're actually they're already a smaller population, in general.
Mm,
So like once you get into an even smaller population being people into NFTs, well, you're already going to have less, such a small group. So maybe we're not seeing these people because there's such a small group as it is. And then when you get such a small group of NFT people, and then niche down again into music NFTs, the
mm,
pool is really small. So we're probably not seeing those people because there are only a few people in there, and they if we just don't happen to stumble across them, or not many of them, it seems like there's not many, and that's because there aren't. And I think that's a reflection of probably the space at large.
mm. I feel like that. Like I recently saw that statistic I shared with you, Jai, where you know we're really always surprised by how many numbers are actually out there. And it's something that surprised me recently was Spotify's statistics that came through, where it was you are actually in the top 20% of artists on Spotify if you have over 50 monthly listeners, which seems like such a congratulations, Joe. Which seems like such a small like a small number, but it's not in conjunction with the whole world, So it's I think
Yeah.
yeah, really not thinking like there are no barriers. People aren't keeping women out. People aren't keeping African American people out. People aren't keeping Asian people out. There's no barriers. There's no one gatekeeping this industry at all in NFTs. It's just people that have access to the internet, that have access to the money to be able to, have a computer to use it, have a phone to use it. So yes, those things exist. Yes, those barriers exist, but it's not anyone going, I don't, because you're on the internet. No one actually, you could be a different persona. You can be like, you can go buy an NFT and be that character as an
Yeah.
artist. You don't
Yeah.
have to be yourself. That's the best part of Web3.
Yeah.
So there are none of those barriers. And the more we push that and discuss that and continue to bring that forward into the light, I think the more people stop voicing those opinions and going, there's not enough women in the space. Well, how do we get the women in the space? Do they want to be in the space? Is the real question.
Yeah. And I've
And
actually seen heaps of women just recently, probably in the last week. I've met a heap of women in the space, so that's awesome to see.
And as you say, Jai, it's like this space is so new. We're all building it together. We're building this like community, all that kind of stuff. So the best thing you can do is just be a part of the community. Like just jump in, contribute, because that's what will inspire other people to follow your lead.
Yeah, the thing I love to say is we're building it now, so that's why we need a diverse range of awesome people so that we can build it how we want. Because once it's set up and built, it's going to be here for a while, and so why not get involved now so that we can create a space that we all want, like create the space we want. So I think that's an important thing to nail home. All right, supply. There are not enough music NFTs. Many struggle to find records they love because they have never been minted. When you do find a record you love, there are very few listed for sale and at a very high price point.
Agreed. That's just because the space is so new at the moment. So, people aren't going to make a collection of 100,000, 250,000 of like their record. They're doing it to their audience at the moment, which could be 10,000, 1,000, 500, 20. Like that's just they're putting stuff out for the community that they know they have in the NFT space right now. And so that means in time, those first releases, there won't be much supply at all, and the people who bought them then will probably want to hold on to them and won't sell them for for cheap. So it's just a matter of people who are here early are kind of getting first dibs, and that's what it will be. But I think there definitely will be opportunities for people to get records and stuff from the artists they love down the road when it's a bit more of a bigger community.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to sell out their collection or whatever, it's mint out. So, and that's a big thing within the space, if you don't mint out, a lot of times people sort of, it can be seen as a not such a positive thing. So I guess, yeah, people are really trying to tailor it to their communities that are available. But yeah, I think we all agree with this one, right? What do you think, Brock? Agreed?
Yeah, man, agreed, 100%.
All right, let's move on. Secondary market. Secondary sales of music NFTs are extremely new. We're in the early edition phase of music NFTs, similar to early art on Nifty Gateway. We're still figuring out the nomenclature and classifications that drive secondary volume. I think we all agree on this one because, as we said, it's super early. Those secondary markets, like we were saying, there's only a very limited supply of these NFTs. So people are holding on to them in the hopes that when more people come into the space, there's more demand and the price of those NFTs will go up. I think we're all, that's a pretty easy one to look at because, yeah, there's just not as many people in the space.
And I guess like people are still trying to figure out like, if you buy something, I think it's such like a flipper's market at the moment. So it's like there are those people that like kind of want to sell on secondary and want to get rid of it. And I think it's just in the phase where like everyone's still trying to figure it out, work it out. Do they want to hold it? Do they not want to hold it? Do they want to sell it? It's weird. People don't know if music NFTs are like just like digital vinyls or if they're like something else. Like it just depends on it depends on what the NFT is, I guess, as well, from the artist and what it's offering.
Yeah, when the artist and the fans and the investors can't really identify what the market actually is, I think you're kind of stuck in this limbo situation that we find ourselves right now, which is it's just we all believe and we all understand and we all know where the space is going, and that's the people that get attracted to it. But until and we don't want clear guidelines or paths defined, but you kind of need something.
Yeah.
So the market can understand, because you have people that just aren't as invested as the three of us essentially, that want to just dabble, that want to just be a part of it, that are just a simple fan that love music and want to show how much they love that particular artist. And if there's no clear guidelines for them, that it kind of leaves them out of the space a little bit. So it'll be good once that changes.
And I think as well, like there's only like in real life, people who enjoy music and are into music aren't into all genres of music. So it's not like, it's not like people would go out in real life and spend money on all these different genres of music. So you've got such a small, we keep talking about how small it is. You've got such a small NFT community, music NFT community as it is. And then you're niching down into genres or artists. So you're niching down again. So you're getting to these, such small groups of people that there's just not that demand there yet. And I think everyone's excited about music NFTs, but I don't think there's no easy sort of way to collect NFTs, music NFTs yet. I think that is almost like a standard or what should a music NFT look like? I know we want them all to be different, but there has to be some kind of, I suppose standard or something. We all had to release on CDs at one stage. CDs were the standard. You could release on tapes and on vinyl and things, but at some stage there's got to be a certain standard for what a music NFT collectible is and what's involved in that.
Yeah, the most interesting thing I've heard about the space since I got in was that there isn't even a file system essentially, because right now it's just an MP4. No matter what, you can upload whatever the hell you want as an audio file, but it has an MP4 box that you upload it into.
Yeah.
Because they don't. No one really thought that an NFT was ever going to be an audio file. They thought, well, it's either going to be a picture or it's going to be a video. So let's just make an MP4, and that'll be the thing that you can upload it into. So there is a lot of people right now out there, including our friend young Jai here, Boy King Koi, part of the Pixel Bands team. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
That are forging ahead and trying to create these systems and create these data points, essentially, so that we can then continue to bring the space forward and make it even easier for us to identify that is a music NFT in that wallet, rather than that is just another NFT MP4 file in that wallet. And then that's the confusing part right now, and that will change, whether it's tomorrow, doubt it, but in the next couple of years, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yep, sweet. All right. Endorsement is the next one. So endorsement. Music NFTs are not being embraced by the existing music industry. Major labels are hesitant to participate, and rightfully so. The technology is not yet suitable for the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit silly to think that major labels would be jumping on board when the fact that it's basically taking business away from music labels at the moment. So I think definitely the major labels and the major artists, I think, are waiting for the space to develop a bit more, and then I think they'll be ready to drop a Taylor Swift NFT to 1 million people. But until then, I don't think especially the big artists in the world, then they're not ready yet to drop a collection, because it's kind of like it's not the right time. The community for NFTs isn't that big. So if Justin Bieber dropped an NFT collection, I'm sure that would bring a lot of people to the space, but I'd be keen. I'd be buying.
You're a believer?
Yeah. Big believers. Yeah, it just wouldn't be the right time. And yeah, labels are still trying to figure out, get their head around it, so they're not losing money in the process as well.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there. It's just the artists are too big. They've already got their fan base. They're already making money. They don't need to cash out in another form that can potentially risk their fan base losing money, because the amount of scams still going on in the space is a lot, and the computer savvy fans of Justin Bieber, fan group might not be right up there. There might be sub 30-40% of his fans that aren't really over the top on up to date on current computer security systems. So
many believers would be getting their wallets hacked.
Oh mate,
yeah.
shredded.
Hackers would be having a field day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a 10x risk opposed to just like, oh, let's make a bunch of cash. It's like, well, we already have all these lovely fans that care about me as an artist. Why would I risk that with potentially having them all get ripped off?
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, like we said last week, it's disrupting the music industry. So these big labels and that they probably don't want to get into the space because they don't want it to succeed in this early stage. I'm sure they will jump into the space at some stage, but they're probably all just watching at the moment and sort of timing when the right time is to get in. But like we said, the demand's not there, so why would they get in? I think we're all pretty much in agreement with that one. All right, next one, cost. Music NFTs are costly to mint, and most creators cannot afford $100 to press a record. Custom smart contracts are expensive to deploy and require a technical understanding to get started. Buying music NFTs comes with a premium that bar most true fans. So I suppose he's talking about custom contracts there. So when you're talking about custom contracts, which is important because we've seen people's collections be deleted from OpenSea that were minted on OpenSea. That's happened before. So, it is kind of important to have, I suppose, custom or independent.
If you're serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really serious. Yeah.
And that's expensive to do. So, if you're gonna go down that route, you've got to have a bit of cash to set that up initially. And if people don't actually purchase your NFTs, then you're going to be out of pocket, and you could be quite substantially out of pocket there. So
I
yeah.
don't think, like, I'd like to rebut to that, Jaya.
Yeah.
I feel like that in the sense of a marketing system for an upcoming album, an upcoming EP, the amount of money that you would spend on building an NFT contract, I don't think it's exponentially bigger than any kind of money that you should, like, let's not get everything wrong here. Like, people aren't spending that kind of money, but that you should spend, that you should be allocated. Like, really, you're talking about a couple of $1,000. A basic budget to market something, music that you're serious about, a couple of tracks should be upwards of, $5,000 to $10,000. So you're looking at a budget that, this is when we're talking Australian dollars here for anyone that's listening in other countries. Feel free to go break that currency up into your hometown.
Yeah.
But it
1 to 1.5 ETH.
Yeah,
For all
that's
you
what we care
geek
about. 1 ETH is 1 ETH. That's what we're talking about. You can look at it. It just depends on how you look at it. Is what I think what I'm trying to get at is you can feel like it's a massive expense, but if you are serious and you are taking it serious, then the allocation is really not that much. But the barrier to entry, I think, and we covered this in our previous episode, was it 22, 21?
The last one, yeah.
Yeah. Which you can go listen to, is I think we do about 20 minutes on just the cup. There's some amazing free pages, free websites that you can use to go mint tracks right now for free that cost almost nothing.
Yep.
Or zero. So you if you want to just get involved, it's $0 is the barrier to entry. But if you want to take it serious, it's a couple of $1,000s. And as I said, I think if you were taking your career seriously, it's a drop in the bucket.
There is also like people out there who are willing to, like, if they believe in you and you can come at them with a good pitch, they're happy to go, hey, I'll take a percentage of whatever the sales are. So there's definitely, I think there's a lot of like negotiation available in the NFT space at the moment. So it's definitely like another route that you can go instead of paying upfront, basically.
I agree with you guys, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here again on your devil's advocate, which was
whoa, the Uno reverse card.
A reverse, yeah, a reverse card. When you're using this marketing dollars you're talking about, you're marketing to a huge audience already, right? Because this is Web 2 people. You're using those marketing dollars to reach a huge audience that's already exists, that's out there. With the NFTs, you're not necessarily reaching a huge audience, as we've been talking about. So if you don't already have a big
do we want to get into this, Jai, or like,
if you don't already have
I feel
a big
like this
audience,
is another episode.
if you don't have a big audience and you haven't built a big Web3 audience, is it worth spending that money then? Or is it better, spending it on the normal Web2 and just trying to build your profile in Web3 before you sort of go that route?
It depends how seriously, again, what I said before, it depends how seriously you're taking this project. If you are taking it very seriously, then I think a contract, the budget to write a smart contract is a drop in the bucket. I'm not just talking, like, marketing is encompassing of pushing out the music. So we're talking about pressing your vinyl. We're talking about posters. We're talking about your ad run. It's not just like, I want to push this music out to my fans. It's like, what is my music video? Like, all of that budget, inside that budget, to write a smart contract is actually probably almost the cheapest thing you can do.
Yep. And as as Aaron said, I've got to stop that. As Aaron said, you can negotiate with someone and work out a way to get it done as well. So, if it's a project you believe in, you can make it happen.
I completely understand where you're coming from, though, Jai. But I just think it in that system, you're either at that level where you feel like this is the music that's going to break you, and you want to push it, and you take your career seriously, and you save that certain amount of money every year to push your music and do the things that you want to do in the correct way, or you're not, and you go to Mint Songs and you're like, I do take my career seriously, but I don't have any budget to promote any of my music, and I just want to break from the ground up.
Yeah, there's options out there, and it's it's an and, not an or, so
Yeah.
you can do both.
100%.
All right, next point. Community. Most music NFT Discord communities are not active. It's hard to judge the health of a community when most collectors today are happy simply collecting and not engaging in daily conversations. Creators are expected to spend more time talking to fans than ever before.
Yep. So a couple of things on this. First of all, I think we can maybe all agree that Discord is merely just like a band-aid fix at the moment. It's
Burn it
kind
to
of
the ground.
it
Jesus.
definitely shouldn't be the solution going forward on how communities interact in the NFT space. It's become such a I don't know, just like a breeding ground of of babies who require constant attention, and you just feel like you need to feed people your attention and your engagement to uphold some kind of like level of alertness that you have to that community and some kind of loyalty, which it's kind of like it's unrealistic in the real world to begin with, to expect people
Great
who
word.
are living
Unrealistic is
who are
literally-
living their 9 to 5
Yeah.
daily lives to also be like spending every single ounce of their time in this community chatting with people. It's not practical. And it's kind of like what it's become at the moment. I will say that like creators are expected to spend more time talking to fans than ever before. Yes, because they're paying a premium to have that level of access. I mean, if you're just like minting a record or whatever and they're joining the community, then sure, that's fine. But if you're a Steve Aoki platinum pass holder, you expect to have some kind of access to Steve.
I want to
which
be
is
breaking bread on his
yeah.
head.
Yeah.
I want him to be
Throwing
saying good
cakes.
morning to me.
Cake me on my birthday
Yeah,
every
surely
year
that's in there somewhere.
until you're dead. Yeah, I think the best thing that we've discussed privately is the thing is with the space and marketing is like you don't need to just go direct. Like everyone seems to go by default to Discord. When if you've got a smaller project, you can just have text messages. So much stronger. You get if you've got an announcement, you send it out to all your holders or everyone. Same thing with emails. There are other things that you can do. With Discord, I feel that, as you said, Aaron, people are trying to entertain people every single day when once a week would do.
And that's just because Discord like is meant for that. Like it's like a chat bot kind of service. Whereas like if everyone just went to Facebook groups, it's just like people just be writing threads every now and then, but there's no direct communication to everyone all the time.
It's interesting that there aren't more Facebook groups actually. You're right there, yeah.
I think also though it's because that's tied to your personal profile.
Oh yeah, good. People want to don't want to be doxxed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to be
people. Yeah, no, that's it. But I think it's a bit hard at the moment because it's almost like a feedback loop because everyone talks about having a strong community is a big part of an NFT project, and it's something that we've even spoken about in previous episodes that
I agree.
People look for in a community. So how do you judge if a community is strong or not? It's generally through the interactions in the Discord. And so, creators are trying to, make their Discords look busy. And then, people are coming in, seeing it's busy, and then that's, pumping up the price. So it's almost like this feedback loop that, that keeps people want to keep their Discords engaged so that, people see it as a good community, and then the price goes up, and then it's it just keeps feeding into itself.
I think, the issue that's been identified now, though, is you can't keep that level of engagement up post-mint. Once the mint is done, the people that are invested, and the people that aren't are kind of looking for that free way to get involved, like a giveaway or whatever. So they're just kind of checking in and out. So you just automatically, the second after it mints, the interest graph goes down 80%, 90%. So it's kind of like, okay, now that we've identified that after 12 months, let's just pull the gas back a little bit and Discord's like, I think we mentioned this last episode, is like Discord's still great. It's just you need to use it for what it is. Create announcements and then create times that you're available inside those. Like, take control of your life. You don't need to be available to everyone 24/7, but yeah, they're more than ever for sure. So 1, 2, 3 days a week where people know the exact time that you're going to be available to talk to your community. Perfect. But
I think we've had a chat, Brock, where it's like, if you go, hey, I'm going to be available this Friday from 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or whatever, and then Saturday at 8 p.m. US Central Time or whatever, just to like hit both time zones. That's your time each week where if people want to chat with you, they'll know you'll be there, and that's like they're getting their fix. That's it.
Yeah, you come in, if you're an artist, you're coming in, like, let's say you're a DJ, you just do, I'm going to do a live set afterwards. You're an artist. I'm going to, I'll be in the studio. You can watch me make my next track, that kind of stuff. That's just really simple that your fans are going to want to engage with. And don't try and overcook it, because it's just done to death. And you're going to lose. You lose, number one, you'll lose your mental health. That'll go in the bin. And number two, you'll lose your fans, because you will not be able to keep that level of engagement. It's just inhuman. You can't.
And if you lead them to your project expecting that and then failing to deliver time and time again because you're over it, that is the worst. That's the worst thing you can do, because then they're definitely going to leave. Whereas like if you set the expectations up front, then people know what they're getting.
And I think, we're all in projects, and there's so many projects we're in that you just can't be in there so much. You there's projects that I just go and check announcements every now and then, and I don't really engage at all, and that's just because I don't have time to engage in all these communities. And even there's some projects we might be interested in getting in, and you're just watching the Discord and it's just sitting there, and you just go and check it every now and again for announcements and things. And do I actually want to get in on this project? And I just did a big Discord clean yesterday and got rid of a heap of projects that I'd sort of just been watching, but I was like, I don't know why I've lost interest in this project. I'm not interested in it. I'm just gonna, leave that server. So I think, that's definitely a big thing as well. So, all right, consumption. Music NFT players are very limited. It's difficult to play your music NFTs or to show them to friends. The mediums to enjoy the music are not up to par with what people expect.
I think you can lead this one, Jai. You had a great idea that actually I heard it in space yesterday as well. It was yesterday or the day before? Spat back, and I'm like, I think Jai's might maybe spoken to this person as well.
Yeah, so I was talking about a wallet as an NFT music NFT player. So you hold all your music NFTs in this particular wallet, and you can play it like like the old Winamp or whatever music MP3 player that used to exist. So I think that's something that there's probably a few people. I don't think it's a totally original idea. There's probably a few people who have thought of that already. But I think that's something that we need. We need like a wallet or just some kind of easy way where you can play all these music MP3s or MP4s. Because at the moment it's hard to play them in a wallet, like, because it's connecting to the blockchain through your wallet, and it's just really difficult to get them to play. So I think as we move forwards, there'll be technology developed where you'll be able to play them easy through a wallet or through some kind of app or some way. So I think that's something we definitely need. And there's the technology's just not there. It's just that stage that we're at.
Solid idea though.
As I said, you're still not even at that file identification stage yet. So we're still, that's literally how early everything is right now. We don't even have the file structure for music NFTs. They're so new that they haven't developed something yet that the music NFT sits in that everything can identify it easily by. So and that'll come.
All right, next topic is history. Music has historically been a terrible market to invest in. Most are not convinced that music is a market that can be saved. For those that do believe it can be saved, there are generations of systems that need to be unraveled.
Sorry, I was just telling Brock that I could hear his clicking.
We got a bit distracted there for a second.
History, Brock.
I
Take it
missed
away.
the question because I was reading it.
So we're just talking about history. Music's historically been a terrible market to invest in. Most are not convinced that music is a market that can be saved. Those who do believe it can be saved. There are
I agree with this because of it's so broken. Like there isn't. You're not investing in music. You're investing in genres. You're investing in people you believe in, and people you believe in can be defeated by multiple facets, not only in the industry, health. Like there's just no. You can be defeated in the music industry, but pretty much fucking a rock on the ground. Like there is
genre goes out of fashion.
Genre goes out of fashion. You roll your ankle. You know the product the way you produce music becomes irrelevant. The program you're used to using goes out of fashion, and computers don't let you use. Mate, Macs in like the Apple Mac continues to phase out programs that artists and producers are trying to use on the system that is meant to be designed for creatives and artists. The computer itself defeats programs. So like there is so many angles in which an artist can just get to the point where mentally and physically they can just be defeated. So yeah, the music industry is fraught with ways that an investment can be, you know, basically smashed, and that's why I feel, you know, record labels have been so demonized is because they've had to develop a way for them to in essence create safe money for themselves. And sure, they've done a bunch of shit things, but they're playing in literally the hardest space that exists to invest money in.
And we've never had a market where punters could invest in music. Like it's always been record labels and that have been investing, and now it's open to anyone. So we've never had this before. So that's why it is kind of interesting. Yeah.
And music labels are usually pretty smart with who they invest in. So now just the average punter's just choosing who they invest in. So it's the Wild West.
Yeah. That's the greatest thing. And that's why we continue to bring want to bring new people into the spaces, because there's going to be no better time than the next 2 years to create music NFTs. So obviously there'll be another peak, but right now is if you are smart and you are good and you consistently show up and you've got good work ethic and your music's fucking half decent, you will find success in this space. Because as Aaron said, there's people here with money that don't really know what to do with it, that see something that looks shiny and they're like, chuck a couple bucks in. Let's go.
Couple eight.
Yeah. 1/8 is 1/8, baby. Let's go.
All right. Last point. Learning curve. Music NFTs bring about a new set of terms and acronyms that go over most people's heads. It requires patience to learn a new language and a higher time commitment to fully understand. Even then, the goalpost is constantly moving.
I think we can all agree that like the terms and acronyms and stuff that people use in NFTs aren't that hard to get your head around.
It's not that bad.
If someone says something and you don't know it, you just Google it and it's there. So it's like, it's not really, I think learning a new language is a little bit of a stretch. High time commitment to fully understand like the space in general. Yeah. But I wouldn't say the terms.
I think in essence, for our age, you know, maybe your age group.
Yeah, here we
I
go.
don't want to chuck you in my age group.
Everyone under 50?
I think there is still a disconnect, because myself, knowing I'm much more technology savvy than peers of my age. So I still think the words blockchain, I still think the words, you know, like that, the actual term, and like not just like WAGMI and stuff like that. I'm thinking like actual internet terms are still not necessarily known by, let's just say, 30 to 50% of the population that are my age, that are trying to use the internet to buy NFTs or are interested in buying NFTs. So I think, yeah, but as you said, Aaron, it's not fucking hard to find out. Like if you're actually interested, 10, 15 minutes of research, you'll be pretty updated fairly quickly enough to get it. It's just the next step above that, which even for us, that took us the last 10 to 12 months to get confident and feel good. I think the first 3 to 6 months was where we felt comfortable actually transferring money in and out of a wallet. Like, no, we're going to lose money for sure. This is gone. This NFT doesn't exist. We're never getting it. It's done. Until you get to the confidence now where you're like, flicking a couple of NFTs all over the place. You're all good.
Yeah. What are we buying? Boom.
I did hear an interesting concept recently on a podcast, though, that when technology or these technologies become mainstream, is when the actual technology and these these words and stuff are actually not important anymore. So like, computers, it used to be like, oh yeah, I've got an Intel computer, it's got this much RAM and this processor, and that was like a big part of the technology. But I mean, nowadays, like with the phone, for example, do you know what processors in your phone and how quick it is? I mean, I don't know how much RAM's in your phone. Maybe you might know that, or
it's not fast enough. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like usually, it's more now. It's about the features and what your phone can do. It's not, it's not so much about the actual, the actual processor. Yeah, they tell you what it is, but I couldn't tell you what processor's in my phone and how fast it is. I couldn't tell you how much RAM's in there. I could tell you how much storage is in there, but it's more about the features and what it can do. And I think when when the term NFT doesn't even exist, it'll just be like you buy this thing and this whatever
digital
it is,
asset.
And it's the access. You're buying it because you get all these features and you get all these perks and all these things. So I wonder if that is actually, when all those terms go away and it's like you don't have to worry about what wallet you've got or whatever. You go, oh no, I'm just going to buy it. And you don't have to necessarily worry about the technology side of things. That's when it'll actually be the mainstream. So I think when that happens, that'll be a huge shift. But we're still ages from that time. So at the moment, it's we're still figuring out the technology. So it's actually important to know what the technology is. But eventually, you probably won't even know what chain it's on. You may not know it's on Ethereum or Solana or anything.
I suppose we don't really use the word smartphone anymore. In kind of agreeing to what you're saying there, it's just a phone. Whereas, you had to separate it before because there was Blackberries. There were multiple technologies trying to enter that fray and into that race, and now it's just your phone. You don't really go, I got a smartphone. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I tell people I got the iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Yeah, I know you do.
Nice flex. Nice flex. All right.
Is Apple sponsoring this podcast or what?
Yeah, we
not after you
talk about the Mac.
You trashed him about the MacBooks.
Oh, mate, just to ask any DJ that worth his salt, any producer that's worth their salt, every time they upgrade their Mac to a new operating system, something fucks up.
It's because they don't give any of the API out at the start, so everyone's playing catch up. They have to figure out how to make it work with the with the updates and things for
which is just stupidity.
Just DJ with a USB like everyone else.
All right. So the last sort of thing that Cooper says here to wrap up the thread is, but it's not for nothing. Music NFTs are a new chapter. We have a long way to go, but there is hope. I'm hopeful we can find a new way to properly value music and create a better relationship between artists and fans. Music NFTs are early. We've been around for a year. We need time to figure out these things. Thank you to those challenging the model and bringing constructive criticism on how to improve. I welcome a world where we can agree music NFTs have a net positive effect on the music industry at large. Until then, I'll keep building.
Good on you, Cooper.
That's
Great thread.
Good on you, Cooper. Get us on that chart, hey? Create a podcast section for us so we can be on your music NFT chart. But we want to be on there. But yeah, a great discussion by Cooper, and I mean, that thread's had a lot of reshares and interaction, and I know a lot of people have looked at that. It's probably a lot of people have maybe disagreed with a lot of points, but that's the whole point at the moment in the space, is that we're all trying to figure it out, and it's only through these discussions of things that we can figure that out. So we need more of that sort of stuff. And it's been great for us to even be able to discuss those points. It's given us a lot of things to think about, and I think that's that's important for the space as a whole.
It's why we started the podcast, is because that's what we want to do. Is we're here to figure it out just alongside you guys, where we don't claim to be experts. We want to continue to help grow the space and continue to help others, and along with ourselves, understand it and understand where it's going to go. So we just want to say thank you so much for listening, everyone, as always, and sending us messages. We got a beautiful message the other day from an artist that minted his first track. Due to it wasn't because of Jai, it was because of Aaron and Brock.
Yeah, it was the boys episode. It was.
But that's the kind of stuff we're here for, is to continue to break it down for all of you out there, so we can express our passion for this space and the music industry as a whole.
And we'd like to leave you with this beautiful quote that we recently found, which is, it took Elon Musk 21 days to buy Twitter, but it's taken you 3 years to release that goddamn song, guys. So why not
get out there, do it,
mint it this week?
Yeah, mint it.
Mint a song.
Just
get it done. Nothing's stopping you.
And send it to us. And if it's a reasonable price, we'll buy it.
Yeah.
No, we need.
And if you need help, hit us up. Because we're all learning, and maybe there's some stuff that we'll learn from you along the way, and you might come up with some brilliant ideas and things, and that's sort of the way that this space is moving and at the moment, and everyone's keen to help each other and collaborate, and I think we're going to do an episode on that very soon. So just get out there and get involved.
We're here to engage, so feel free to reach out. Thanks very much, everyone.
All right, guys. I guess that's it for the episode. And you guys should definitely go and rate and review the episode. We love that on your podcast app. Give us a 5-star and a nice little message there, and we'd really appreciate.
I actually think it's illegal to ask for a 5-star rating. Jai, I think you can only ask for a rating.
Give us your rating. Whatever. Give us a rating.
5 would be nice.
Yeah, we'd like
would be nice.
5.
We love a 5 and above.
Gary loves a 5. We love a 5.
And share it with a friend. Just share it to a friend who's potentially dabbling in the NFT space, who you think might be interested. Just send them an episode their way and see what they think.
All right, guys. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. See you, everyone.